What is competition? I'm trying to raise the bar high. Who's trying to jump and get it?
I climb it and set the bar so high that you gotta get Obama to force the Air Force to find it. Never mind it, you never reach that.
Ain't nobody but the mirror looking for the fall off.
Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We the big three like we started a league.
Mother the big three. It's just big me. Bum.
Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole are heavily regarded to be two of the greatest rappers of their respected generation, spawning what would be known as the Big Three, with Drake included. Over the course of the 2010s, it was always a debate as to who in fact is the best out of these three, but underneath the surface, Kendrick and Cole were throwing subliminals at each other. But how exactly did this all begin? Let's start in the year of 2009. Up-and-coming rapper J. Cole had just signed to Jay-Z's Roc Nation. Prior to this, in 2007, J. Cole had already established his own label called Dreamville. This is when Cole would begin getting a lot more traction after dropping his mixtape The Warm Up in the summer of 2009 and appearing on Jay-Z's album The Blueprint 3 on the track A Star Is Born in September of that year. As Cole was on the rise, another artist who had accumulated himself a ton of buzz in LA was a rapper named Kendrick Lamar. Lamar had released several mixtapes on the underground scene under the name K-Dot and had been co-signed by West Coast legend The Game. Kendrick was signed to TDE, and in 2010 is when these two would officially meet. According to J. Cole himself, his first encounter with Kendrick was in LA at an album listening party for an LA-based rap group called UNI in 2010. Quote, as soon as he started rapping, I'm like, what the f***? This dude's hungry. You know what I mean? So as soon as it's over, I'm the type of person, if I'm feeling something, if I feel a certain way, I'm gonna let you know immediately.
I met Kendrick at a time when all I had out was the warm-up. Nobody knew who he was. He didn't have a deal. He was signed to Top. I didn't know he was signed to Top. I actually wanted to sign him. I didn't have my business right, even close. I didn't know he was with Top. But in my mind, he was the first person I ever found that I was like, yo, I'm telling everybody, like, yo, I'm trying to sign this kid. Like, yo, this is nasty. Because what happened was I was at a party in L.A., this group called UNI. They not together no more.
Remember UNI?
They was out of L.A. Cool ass dudes, man. So they invited us out to their little release party. We went, and at the party, they had did a few songs, and they brought this kid up. This short ass kid. I'm looking at this short, dark skin. I'm like, yo, who's this kid? Like, and then he gets on the mic and murders. And I'm a rapper's rapper, and I'm not easily impressed. You know what I mean? And when I saw him, I was like, what? When I heard him, I'm instantly like, I'm looking at Eve like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I gotta go let him know that he's ill. So right. I walked up to him like, yo, man, that shit was crazy.
What year was this?
This was 2010.
Okay.
This 2010. And I just had to let him know that I was fucking with the scene. He was like, yo, I met you. He was like, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. I fuck with you, but I met you. I was like, when? He had met me at the XXL freshman shoot with Jay. I think J-Rock was on that cover.
Right.
And he was in there with J-Rock.
Right.
And he was
playing the background.
Playing the background. He told me, because I was running late that day, our flight got canceled. So we caught a later flight. And he was like, yo, man, I was asking them to give me your spot. But they didn't know who he was. Like,
right,
get the fuck out of here. Right. He was serious. He was serious. Like, yo, if he don't show up, I'll take his spot. And from there, from that night, we clicked, and I told him to send me some records. And he sent me like these songs he got called, I'll never forget, he sent me, they weren't out at the time. He sent me Patron, and he sent me Cut You Off to my email. And I was like, yo, I'm fucking with this nigga. Like, yo, I want to sign this nigga. But of course, he was like, yo, yeah, he fuck with some dude named Top Dog. I'm like, who the fuck is a Top Dog?
Yeah, he need to sign.
He probably gonna fuck up his career. Some hood could have got this nigga locked up. Like, and obviously I was wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? But and from there, it was just like I felt compelled to always give him any jewels I could, because I know what I was going through and the stresses I was going through, and I was always trying to tell him, like, yo, if they try to tell you this, that you could do it like this. You know what I mean? I always try to provide that and shout him out whenever I could.
Now that's Cole's side of his first encounter with Kendrick, but according to Kendrick Lamar, they actually met at the photo shoot for the 2010 XXL freshman cover. J. Cole himself appeared on the cover along with J-Rock, who was on TDE, the same label as Kendrick. Cole would immediately be interested in signing Kendrick Lamar to Dreamville, but that actually never ended up happening. In a later interview with Nardwuar, it was revealed that Cole was allegedly the one who told Dr. Dre to sign Kendrick Lamar.
J. Cole, did you tell Dr. Dre about Kendrick?
Which, yes, the answer is yes, I did. I'm not gonna say I was the first to tell him. There was a, what's my man name that used to work for Dre? Light skinned dude. Manny. Yeah. When I brought him up to Dre, I was like, yo, you know what you got? I went in there to like work on Detox or whatever. You know how Dre do. It's like if you're a young rapper and he rock with you, he want to bring you through and like have you test the water. So yeah, I was like, yo, you gotta sign this kid from Compton. Boom, boom. Kendrick. Boom, boom. And then Manny was like, oh yeah, that's the kid I was telling you about. Boom, boom, boom. So shout out to Dr. Dre. He made the right decision.
After that, Cole and Kendrick would become friends, and later that year, they would both hit the studio together. On December 8th, 2010, Kendrick Lamar sat down with Vibe magazine for an interview where he would reveal that he and J. Cole have a lot of music on the way. Quote, "It's a lot of music, I'ma put it to you that way. It might not just be one song." On December 31st, 2010, Kendrick did an interview with Hard Knock TV where he previewed a beat for a track that him and J. Cole were working on together. The next month, in January 2011, during a listening party and an in-store signing in Carson, California for his debut album Section 80, Kendrick previewed an unreleased track with J. Cole. This track would end up leaking the next month. In February 2011, the track was called Temptation, with J. Cole being a producer himself handling the production. The track would never be officially released. On February 8th, 2011, Kendrick did an interview with XXL where he would reveal that he and J. Cole are planning on dropping a collaborative mixtape. Quote, "We don't have a title or release date yet, but J. Cole got like 90% of the production so far. One of my favorite songs of the project is a song called Shock the World. Cole laid the first verse and set the tone for the whole record. It's gonna shake up a lot of people." A couple of months later, on April 12th, 2011, the first single for Kendrick's album Section 80 was released, a track called High Power. Long behold, this track was actually produced by none other than J. Cole. A month later, on May 13th, 2011, the collab track with J. Cole that Kendrick was alluding to in his interview called Shock the World would actually end up leaking, and this track would never be released officially either. On June 20th, 2011, Kendrick Lamar did an interview with Meet the Dealer where he would reveal that the collaboration project with J. Cole is now on hold.
So I know you was working on an album with J. Cole.
Yeah.
And you kind of put it on hold for a little bit. So what's the status of that right now?
It's still moving, man. We just getting the music right. You know, he got a situation with his album coming out, his single. I got my situation coming out. And we just really want to focus on that, especially me coming off the XXL. I really want to make my own entity instead of coming out with a collaboration mixtape with another artist. I want to stamp myself. And we're just getting the music right now, man. We still got some records in the cut, so everybody's asking for them. So we'll put them out.
Later that year, on December 21st, 2011, Kendrick did an interview with XXL where he would say that he is still hoping to drop the joint project with Cole. Quote, "We're still trying to formulate it and sit down in a neutral zone where either one of us is moving or doing shows, interviews, and press all the time. We want to lock ourselves in the studio and make it right. We got songs where we can actually formulate something, but we want it to be right." Fast forward to May 12th, 2012, during an interview with Bootleg Kev, J. Cole would reveal that the collab project with Kendrick is in the works.
I just started working with Kendrick the other day. We got in finally again.
So, that mixtape that y'all,
Oh man,
it's like folklore. It's hip hop folklore.
Man. Album, man.
The Kendrick J. Cole mixtape album.
Album tape.
So y'all are officially working on that.
Yeah, we working on it.
Okay, because
yeah,
I'm like, man, this is gonna be one of these projects.
Nah, I don't think it is. Cause you know why? We
never gonna come out.
We got back in. That was the first time we got back in a while. We actually got in the other night and actually worked, like bouncing ideas. You know what I'm saying? Which is great. And the vibe is so good that it's like, man, that's
How many
absolutely.
records did y'all do?
We got like maybe like four or five together. You know what I'm saying?
The very worst, an EP.
Word, absolutely.
That summer, on August 21st, 2012, DJ Khaled dropped the track They Ready, to which J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar would both make an appearance on this track, and J. Cole even co-produced the track. Just 8 days later, on August 29th, 2012, Trey the Truth dropped the track called I'm On 2.0, which saw J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar appearing on the same track once again. A couple of weeks later, while Kendrick was on BET's Music Matter tour, he had a show in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he would bring out J. Cole, which, of course, being Cole's home state, had the crowd going crazy. On October 20th, 2012, Kendrick Lamar dropped a track called The Jig Is Up, which was co-produced by J. Cole. 2 days later, on October 22nd, 2012, Kendrick Lamar dropped his breakout album Good Kid, Mad City. On the day of its release, Kendrick would do a signing at a Best Buy store in Compton for the album. J. Cole would actually show up to the signing in support, and Cole would take to Twitter to show his support for the album, saying, "Listen, go buy Kendrick Lamar album right now," twice. Kendrick would then take to Twitter himself to show love back to Cole for popping up at the signing. Cole popped up at Compton Best Buy for the signing Dolo. Dudes don't do that. My homie for real. Just a week later, Kendrick would take to Twitter to reveal that him and J. Cole were in the studio the previous night. This week is up. Y'all did it. Appreciation Day is today. With that being said, me and Cole was in the stew last night. After this, still would be no sign of that collab project that had been teased for a couple of years at this point. The next year, on June 18th, 2013, J. Cole dropped his album Born Sinner, and on the track Forbidden Fruit features Kendrick Lamar. This song served as a bit of an updated version of their unreleased track Temptation. The next month is when things would start getting shaky between Cole and Kendrick. On August 12th, 2013, Big Sean dropped a track called Control, featuring Jay Electronica and Kendrick Lamar. This is when Kendrick would infamously call out several rappers in the game, which would start a lot of controversy. Amongst those names was J. Cole, where Kendrick says despite having love for all the rappers he named, he wants to murder them and surpass all of them. This would officially spark the beef, with the first shot being thrown on wax.
And there goes for Jamaica. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you.
After this, Kendrick's verse on Control would go extremely viral, being the most talked about thing in hip-hop at the time. J. Cole's initial reaction was to reach out to Kendrick Lamar.
And then you hear a song like Control and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's like, you know what? I heard about it before it came out. Somebody called me and gave me the...
So the hype was bigger than, like the hype was already building before you heard it.
Yeah, I heard about it maybe a week or two before, for sure. It was a moment, man. It was a big moment in hip hop, for sure. What you looking for?
Nah, I'm just listening to you, man. I'm just listening to you, man.
Nah, I don't really know what to say about that record. It was a perfectly well played thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And did that
in terms of a chess move,
right?
You gotta respect.
And it's a chess game.
It's a chess game, exactly. It's a chess game.
And it's better when it's competitive.
When I heard it, of course, me telling you the story of what I just told you and how I've always showed him love and always
Did that you feel a kind of way?
But this is why I felt the way. I didn't even really hear the line.
Right.
I heard the loudness of the people.
Right.
The
hype.
Ooh. That shit had me feeling like, yo, what the f? I had to have a conversation with him. You know what I mean? Like,
what was the conversation, man?
It was just, I mean, not even to dive into detail. I just had to find out for myself, like, yo, what?
You came at me, dog?
What's that? Please tell me what is that. I got to know, because I really with you. You know what I mean? Like, we're not best friends. Like, we know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know you. Like, I don't know your mom's, but like, I really genuinely, we got great conversations, and like, I don't with too much game. I with you. I need to know.
Right.
What is that? What does that mean? And when I got the answer and had time to reflect on the answer, it really, and then went back and heard the verse, like months later, I had to really check myself, like, wow.
What was the answer?
Oh, it's just exactly what it was. Like, the last person I thought would even feel away is you. You know what I mean? Like, but I had to be smacked back into reality of like, this is rap.
One verse in particular from Control would piss off Diddy when Kendrick called himself the King of New York, being that he's from LA.
I'm Machiavelli's offspring, I'm the King of New York.
The title, King of New York, was given to Diddy's artist Biggie Smalls back in 1995, so that's why Kendrick saying this definitely rubbed Diddy the wrong way. On August 25th, 2013, at the 2013 MTV VMAs at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Diddy were in attendance. At the after party, Diddy would attempt to pour a drink on Kendrick Lamar for his King of New York line, to which J. Cole would intervene in defense of Kendrick, and the two got into a scuffle. A couple of months later, on November 30th, 2013, Justin Timberlake dropped the Black Friday remix for his track TKO, featuring A$AP Rocky, Pusha T, and J. Cole. On his verse, J. Cole would respond to Kendrick Lamar. He started off by referencing Kendrick's Control verse and how a girl had it as her ringtone, saying that she's buying into the hype. Then Cole would say that everyone is gassing up the verse.
That long verse from a song called Control was on. Man, I hate done got you too. Everybody in their mama gas.
Then implying that if this means war, he's gonna go in on him, basically a warning shot to Kendrick.
In case this is warning, I load up on all ammunition. If a want problems, my triggers on auto, I'll make sure that nobody miss them.
A couple of weeks later, on December 16th, Kendrick would respond in an interview with Power 106, where he revealed that he reached out to J. Cole after hearing his TKO verse. I definitely texted him. He was in character, and he just did what he did best, played off words. These tensions would calm down pretty fast, because on the night of J. Cole's birthday, on January 28th, 2014, J. Cole would bring out Kendrick Lamar at his Dreams Come True tour at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Kendrick would perform, then Jay-Z would come out to perform as another special guest, where he would give J. Cole his Rockefeller chain. Later that night, Kendrick would join Cole at his birthday celebration at the Gilded Lily on 408 West 15th Street. Kendrick would even get on the microphone to wish Cole a happy birthday, so the minor issues seemed to be resolved. The next month, Eminem would handpick both J. Cole and Kendrick to join his Rapture tour, where they would play 8 stadium shows in various countries. In September 2014, Kendrick Lamar did an interview with Power 106 where he would speak on his Control verse and his relationship with J. Cole.
Where are you at with a lot of the cats now, like the J. Coles of the world or Drakes of the world? Where are you guys at now?
Same place. It's all love from the moment I did the verse to after the verse. You know what I mean? I think hip-hop is a sport, so you're going to have these little spits and spats. And it's all good because personally I respect these dudes as, you know, as people. You know what I mean? So outside of that, it's really nothing.
Specifically, where are you at, like, with the J. Cole? Specifically, where are you at with a Drake or so on and so forth?
I respect their music.
Like that.
For sure. I respect them as individuals and creators. And I think what the media tried to do is insane, because they take these black, young brothers and really try to clash it and make bump heads, and that's not right. That's how I look at it. I think it's not right. And I think that's why it's great to really show people how we support one another, because hip hop was something that wasn't supposed to be here for this long. I'm sure you know, Big.
Yes, sir.
And the more we do that, the more they'll try to tear it down.
On December 9th, 2014, J. Cole dropped his album 2014 Forest Hills Drive. And on this album, J. Cole had some more subliminals for Kendrick. On the track January 28th, he has some shots for Kendrick. At the end of the second verse, he referenced Kendrick's Control verse where he said he's going to raise the bar. So Cole says he's going to climb that bar and set it high. Then mocks Kendrick's height, saying that he'll never be able to reach that bar.
What is competition? I'm trying to raise the bar high. Who's trying to jump and get it?
I climb it and set the bar so high that you gotta get Obama to force the Air Force to find it. Never mind it, you never reach that.
On the third verse, Cole would name drop Kendrick along with Drake, then comparing himself to Rakim, who is known as the God MC, who he shares the same birthday with of January 28th, which is Cole's birthday and the name of the song. Another detail I want to mention is that Kendrick celebrated J. Cole's birthday with him earlier in that same year. So now, Cole is throwing subliminals on a track that is named after that same date.
Or you might be Drizzy Drake or Kendrick Lamar, but check the birth date, you ain't the guy.
On the track Fire Squad, he sends more shots at Kendrick. On the third verse, he references how people argue who's holding the crown out of the big three of Kendrick, Drake, and himself. Also, he is referencing Kendrick's Control verse where Kendrick called himself the king.
While silly argue over who gon' snatch the crown.
On the outro, he once again alludes to being the king of the rap game, putting an end to the debate of the big three.
Here comes Lil Old Jermaine to snatch the crown from whoever y'all think has it.
On the track GOMD, on the third verse, Cole says that when he's in LA, he's the best in the West, which can definitely be perceived as a Kendrick diss.
When I'm in LA, I'm the best in the West.
The next year, on March 31st, 2015, Kendrick did an interview with Hot 97 where he would reveal that he is still open to doing that collab project with J. Cole.
Also, there's this has been rumored for a very long time, but is there going to be a Kendrick Lamar J. Cole album?
Man, definitely. I still would love to do it for sure. I talked to the bro. I don't know, probably a little bit over a month, and he's on the tour rocking. So we're gonna try to make something happen.
But
Talk about it.
Are you trying more actively than before? Is there an active effort?
Working on it.
Man, they want that. They want that.
Later that year, on November 27th, 2015, on Black Friday, J. Cole and Kendrick both dropped a track called Black Friday. J. Cole's version, he freestyles over Kendrick's Alright beat, and Kendrick spit over J. Cole's beat for Tale of Two Cities. At the end of J. Cole's track, he would actually tease the joint project with Kendrick when he speaks as a fan, asking when the project will finally drop, then gives a time frame of February of 2016.
When you and K, that shit drop. Never, they can't handle two black this clever.
Cole also bleeped out the project name, so this really got fans thinking that these two were about to drop that long-anticipated collab project.
But this February bet gets scary when I fuck around and drop.
This can also be confirmed by Kendrick's sister, who would also tease the collab project that same day in a now deleted Instagram post, even giving a release date of February 16th, 2016. Quote, "Go check out my brother at Kendrick Lamar new song. Black Friday gift to you guys. It's definitely some fire as usual. But go listen to it. You won't regret it. I promise. Collab drop hashtag Feb 16. So be on the lookout as well." Now obviously this never ended up happening as we head into 2016, but the rumors were still heavy on everyone's minds. On December 9th, 2016, Ab-Soul would reveal on The Breakfast Club that the collab album with Cole and Kendrick is real and is being worked on.
Right. You got a feature on the Kendrick Cole album?
I can't speak on that. I wish I could.
But there is a Kendrick Cole album.
There's a Kendrick. They got it. You know what I'm saying? They got something in the works. They've been working on that for a while.
Things would seemingly go quiet for the first half of 2017. On July 27th, 2017, while on his Damn tour in Detroit, Kendrick would bring out J. Cole. The next month, on August 19th, Punch from TDE would reply to a tweet asking when Cole and Kendrick are dropping the joint project, to which he replied saying, "Probably never." Later that day, he would backpedal this claim and say that it was just a joke. "I was just playing about that Dot and Cole joint. It's coming for sure. Maybe. I don't know. It might happen. Probably. Actually, hit them." Later that year, on December 14th, 2017, Jeezy dropped his track American Dream, which featured both Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. Now, according to Jeezy himself, in an interview with Sway, both Cole and Kendrick were actually unaware that they were appearing on the track together.
And I sent it to J. Cole first, and
what J. Cole say?
I mean, he loved the record, and he was like, "Give me some time," and I didn't even hit him. I gave him some time, you know what I'm saying? And when he sent that verse back,
my God. Did he know Kendrick was going to be on it too?
Nah. And then I hit Kendrick, and then he was in Atlanta on tour, and we just chopped it up. You know, we just kicked it backstage, had a good time, just chopping it up, laughing about old times. And I told him about the record. He's like, "Yo, just send it to me." So I sent it to him, and shout out to Top Dog, you know what I'm saying? And you know, he went in.
He went in?
Yeah. So when they heard the finished product, you know, everybody kind of knew everybody was on the record, and it was like, let's do it.
The next year, in 2018, J. Cole did an interview with Angie Martinez where he would once again speak on the collaboration project with Kendrick. This time, this is what he had to say about it.
So does this mean there'll never be a Kendrick and Cole album that everybody seems to think is happening?
Not for that reason. It's not that I wouldn't want to work with him. That's not the case. It's just that when I'm working on my album, it's just like, yo, that's just how I operate. Like, you didn't ask Prince why he don't have no, and not comparing myself to Prince, but I'm saying
why him and Michael Jackson never did an album.
Why you ain't have Mike on the album, bro? I really think your album would be a little better if you had Mike.
Yeah, but why does everybody think that this is, and why are people confirming? Some people are saying confirming that there is an album that was. Even like there was Ab-Soul, somebody said yes, they're absolutely working on an album.
Nah, he might be talking about like when we originally got up to work.
Yeah.
Like this was years ago. Like when we originally got up to work, we had we just did a few songs. Like we did a bunch of ideas, put it like that.
Right.
It was nothing like, you wouldn't call it an album, you wouldn't call it nothing like that.
So that's not a real thing. That's like some fantasy thing.
It's not. It didn't come from nowhere. It came from us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not like it's something that's actively happening. Not because it's never gonna happen, just because it's like
it's not right now.
It's not right now, and I don't like teasing or playing the game because this has been going on for a minute.
If people want that, why wouldn't you just give it to both of you?
Because it's not that easy. It's like it's timing. This man is his own man. I'm my own man.
He has a Pulitzer Prize now. By the way, he's a Pulitzer Prize winner. You know what I mean? It's like you might not be able to get him on the phone.
Yeah, for sure. So he got he got a career. I got a career. I got a family. He got a family. Mm-hmm. It's like it's not as easy. It would have been easier back then. Mm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it would be like, yo, you really got to block off a lot of time.
I think you should do it. Yeah, do it for the people.
All right.
Do it for the people, Cole.
On July 5th, 2019, Kendrick Lamar would perform the hook on Dreamville's track Under the Sun, and this would mark yet another record where Kendrick and Cole both appeared on. J. Cole's manager would put out a tweet talking about Kendrick's hook on the track. "Big shout out to my bro at Kendrick Lamar, man. Pulled up on me to hear the project and just chop it up, and ended up giving us a fire hook. That's my bro. Always love." Now after this, Kendrick Lamar went radio silent from the rap game, not being seen for several years, while J. Cole was on a crazy run. In the summer of 2020, TDE's Punch would answer questions on Twitter regarding the Cole and Kendrick joint album that has been teased for nearly a decade at this point. A Twitter user tweeted at Punch saying, "We want Kendrick," and then he responded asking, "What do you want with him?" Another fan responded, "I want to put Lamar on a 3-track EP with @J Cole and C, cause the world is going through a lot, and that alone would make the world so happy. Please make it happen." Punch responded by tweeting, "That's never going to happen." Another fan then asked if they were releasing something bigger than an EP, to which Punch responded, 0 tracks. Not happening. So after this, fans started to lose hope that this collaboration album with Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole would ever see the light of day. Now, throughout J. Cole's career at this point, the one thing that eluded Cole his whole time on top was the Big 3 stigma with Drake and Kendrick. A lot of hip-hop media would always put Kendrick over J. Cole, so it seemed as if Cole was trying to catch up to Lamar in the eyes of some people. I bring this up because it will lead into what will eventually happen in the future between these two. As Kendrick was absent for around 4 years at this point, Cole would be on fire, and on May 14th, 2021, J. Cole dropped his album The Off Season. On this album is a track called Hunger on Hillside, where it is heavily speculated that Cole took a shot at Kendrick when he allegedly referenced Kendrick's Mr. Morale in the Big Steppers album.
Big stepper, don't get stepped on.
Now, this track came out almost a full year before the actual announcement of Kendrick's album, so I doubt this has anything to do with Kendrick. Just a theory that many have that maybe Cole knew about the album before we did. After all, Cole and Kendrick are good friends, so I wouldn't be surprised if Cole did in fact know in advance, but take this with a grain of salt. A couple of months later, on September 21st, 2021, Dreamville and J. Cole dropped the track Heaven's EP. On the first verse, he once again referenced the Big 3 when he brings up how people are putting him in 3rd place behind Kendrick and Drake.
Some people say that I'm running 3rd. They threw the bronze at me. Behind Drake and Dot, yeah, them niggas is superstars to me.
A couple of months later, on January 22nd, 2022, Benny the Butcher and J. Cole dropped the track Johnny P's Caddy. Initially upon release, people speculated that Cole was actually dissing Benny the Butcher on the record, but that was false. Benny the Butcher would confirm that Cole was talking to someone on this track, and that someone very well could be Kendrick Lamar.
Want me on the song, he gon' see the wrath of the reaper. I'm probably gon' go to hell if Jesus asks for a feature.
This one is obvious. Kendrick has a lot of references to Jesus in his music. The next line, he references how Kendrick was dressed as a Catholic preacher in his music video for Humble.
Collecting his bread and mass like he a Catholic preacher.
Now, people further speculate that J. Cole was actually dissing Benny the Butcher when he said that he's the best rapper alive. Now, to me, this is a clear shot towards Kendrick, who is heavily regarded as one of the best rappers alive at this point. Like I said earlier, the whole Big 3 conversation, and J. Cole was always put under Kendrick by many media outlets.
Really no MC equal. Feel me, Copin be lethal. On God, the best rapper alive.
When a rapper says they're the best rapper alive on somebody else's record, how do you respond to that? Do you want to go change your verse or?
We've been, he said that on my record, so people ask me about that, but we've been debating about that, man. Like, he was talking to somebody, man. If you ask me, he was talking to somebody.
A couple of months later, on May 13th, 2022, Kendrick Lamar dropped his comeback album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. On the track, Count Me Out, it's speculated that he referenced J. Cole when he name-dropped the rumored J. Cole album, The Fall Off.
Ain't nobody but the mirror looking for the fall off.
This album has been mentioned by Cole on Wax, most notably on the track 1985 from his album KOD, which was subtitled as the intro to The Fall Off. Cole also teased the album with a list of his projects that led up to the album listed as the Fall Off Era. The next year, on January 18th, 2023, J. Cole dropped a track called Procrastination, and on this track, it's speculated that he took subliminal shots at Kendrick. He opens up the track saying that there is no boogeyman, which, if you know, Kendrick Lamar has been dubbed as the boogeyman of hip-hop, and has even referred to himself as the boogeyman on wax.
Don't you dare run from it, there's no boogeyman.
A couple of months later, on May 12th, 2023, Lil Durk dropped his track All My Life, featuring J. Cole. On his verse, it's speculated that he referenced a scene from the Family Ties music video where Kendrick Lamar can be seen shooting a pistol out of a car window when he said this. Later that year, on September 28th, 2023, Lil Yachty and J. Cole dropped their track, The Secret Recipe. And on this track, it's once again heavily speculated that Cole was taking more subliminals towards Kendrick. Cole started off by allegedly referencing Kendrick's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album, saying that Kendrick is chasing relevance.
Y'all chasing relevance is evidenced by the way you step.
Then Cole says that people are fake progressive and fake woke. Again, could be a shot at Kendrick. Then saying he peeped how they profit off of racial stress, which could be alluding to Kendrick's album To Pimp a Butterfly and other songs that are themed after racial problems that America faces.
It's fake, progressive, and woke. I started saying less. I had to stop it. Peeped how they profit off of racial stress.
The next line, Cole once again could be referencing Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Studio steppers moving extra on songs fake and rep.
On October 6th, 2023, Drake dropped his album For All the Dogs. And on the track First Person Shooter, J. Cole would send more subliminal shots at Kendrick Lamar. On the intro, Cole says that everyone is debating his number in the Big Three, but then Cole puts himself at number 1.
A lot of debating my numero, not the 3, not the 2, I'm the UNO.
On his verse, Cole directly name-dropped Kendrick when he once again brought up that whole Big Three debate, then calls himself Muhammad Ali. Now keep these bars in mind because they're going to come into play shortly.
Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We the Big Three like we started a league.
Then Cole would allude that he's better than Kendrick when he compared himself looking at Drake as the Spider-Man meme, basically painting the picture that Cole and Drake are the top 2 in the game and that no one else is near them.
The Spider-Man meme is me looking at Drake.
Then more shots came in when Cole would reference the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album once again, then saying that the quote-unquote Big Steppers are breakfast to him.
Everybody steppers with and everybody breakfast and I'm about to clear off my plate.
The funny part about this is Kendrick Lamar was allegedly supposed to be on First Person Shooter alongside Cole and Drake. The song was supposed to be sort of a celebration of the Big Three, but Kendrick Lamar reportedly refused to be on the track.
I now have good authority to say that allegedly Drake hit up Kendrick, and First Person Shooter should have been a song with Drake, Cole, and Kendrick. Now, if you think about this entire timeline and beef with that in mind, makes sense. So First Person Shooter, Drake hit up Kendrick to say, hey, we got to open for you. It's me and Cole. Come holla at me. Do the song. Kendrick doesn't do the song. Then he hears the song, and the song is a bunch of niggas who's talking about me and you is a Spider-Man meme and blah, 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 blah. And he says, man, these bum ass niggas who couldn't get a feature from me is now acting like they're number 1 and number 2. Both of them. That is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that First Person Shooter was a song intended to be with the big three. I'm hearing that verses were reworked because Kendrick did not respond to the feature request. I'm hearing, and by the way, none of this is from Drake. I have not asked Drake about this. So, I know some people now feel like I'm OVO's spokesperson. I have not asked Drake about this, and to be honest, I would rather not ask him about it because I don't want to get on my speculation shit. You feel me? So leave Drake out of this. This is just me speculating based on what I've heard from very reputable sources that's connected to other people. So if you listen to allegedly a part of especially Cole's verse, that verse was intended to be, yo, I'm here with my brothers and we're the best. But I still feel I'm the best, but we're the best. We the big three like we started a league. It's just me, K-Dot, and Aubrey.
More evidence that points to this being true is when Kendrick Lamar would bring up a feature request that Drake had on his track Euphoria.
Surprised you wanted that feature request. You know that we got some to address.
The next month, on November 17th, 2023, Drake dropped the Scary Hours edition of his album For All the Dogs. On this is a track called Evil Ways, featuring J. Cole, and once again, J. Cole had some subliminals for Kendrick when he directly referenced Kendrick's song DNA.
I stay out of beef, see his DNA get rearranged.
Now, doing tracks with Drake, a guy who Kendrick despises, was also even worse. Kendrick had been hearing Cole sending subliminals and baiting him for the last couple of years. So now, Kendrick Lamar felt like it was time to finally respond. Fast forward to March 22nd, 2024, Future and Metro Boomin dropped their collab album, We Don't Trust You. On this is a track called Like That, to which Kendrick Lamar would be featured, and on his verse, he would respond to Drake and J. Cole. First, Kendrick references how Drake and Cole are clicking up, then would directly mention the First Person Shooter track, telling them that he hears the sneak dissing.
Niggas clicking up, but can not be legit sneak dissing. First person shooter, I hope they came with 3 switches.
Then he says that there is no big three, and it's only him, so he seemingly responded to Cole's big three references.
Motherfuck the big three, nigga, it's just big me. Bum.
Kendrick also took a shot at Cole when he referenced the J. Cole and Dreamville tracks Stick and PTSD.
If he walk around with that stick, it ain't Andre 3K. Think I won't drop the location, I still got PTSD.
J. Cole would of course hear Kendrick's disses, so this prompted him to respond. A couple of weeks later, on April 5th, 2024, J. Cole dropped his mixtape called Might Delete Later, and on this was a track called 7 Minute Drill. This would serve as Cole's response track towards Kendrick Lamar.
Your first was classic, your last was tragic, your second put niggas asleep but they gassed.
J. Cole would do exactly what the title of the mixtape suggests, and deleted this later, because just 2 days after dropping the track, during J. Cole's Dreamville Festival at a show in Raleigh, North Carolina, Cole would issue an apology to Kendrick Lamar for the diss track, calling it the lamest thing that he's ever done, and vowed to remove it from all streaming platforms.
Me, right? So I'm so proud of that project, except for one part. It's one part of that make me feel like, man, that's the lamest I ever did in my life, right? And I know this is not what a lot of people want to hear. I know I can hear my right now like, nah, don't do that. But I got to keep it 100 with y'all. I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest to ever touch the microphone? Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct?
After that, the track eventually would be removed from streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music just days later. It has been reported that TDE artist Schoolboy Q allegedly had a conversation with J. Cole at the Dreamville Festival, telling Cole to back out of the battle with Kendrick and not escalate it any further. All Hip Hop claims, quote, Schoolboy Q had a conversation with J. Cole at the Dreamville Festival. Our writer confirmed that Schoolboy Q was at the festival and that they did have a conversation. She couldn't elaborate what they talked about, but sources are telling me that they gave him a warning. Now, this is all just speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. After Cole's apology, the internet just fired off on him for backing out of a hip-hop beef while being an incredibly talented MC. Drake would even clown Cole for backing out of the beef on his diss tracks towards Kendrick. Now, on that mixtape, Might Delete Later, there were actually more subliminal shots at Kendrick. On the track Crocodile Tears, he takes a shot at Kendrick, saying that he doesn't compare to him and references his track Humble.
I swear they compare, but the truth humble.
On the second verse, he once again calls himself the #1 rapper out of the big three.
Yes, sir, it's me. Not two, not three. The uno, G-O-A-T.
Later that month, on April 30th, 2024, Kendrick Lamar dropped his diss track towards Drake called Euphoria. On this track, Kendrick took some shots at J. Cole.
There's 3 ghosts left and I see 2 of them kissing and hugging on stage. You're Cole and I already know I'm a selfish nigga, the crown is heavy.
On May 4th, 2024, Kendrick Lamar dropped his track Not Like Us. On this track, he once again threw shots at J. Cole, saying that Drake did him foul by setting him up to get dissed.
They cold foul, I don't know why you still pretending.
After that, nothing else was said, and it seems as if this relationship between Kendrick and Cole has been tarnished. It's also a shame that the collab project that they teased for so long never saw the light of day. But maybe one day, these two will make amends and we finally see that project officially release.